issues. Let's go and talk to Brigade General in Reserve Yisrael Relik Shafir. He's a former commander of Tal Nof Air Force Base and former combat pilot, Israeli Air Force, joining us from Moshav Bet Uziel. Welcome. Let's start with this recent escalation and the Israeli attacks in Iran. Is there any more targets Israel target actually in Iran that could possibly put more pressure on the regime, or is it more of the same? And this will not deter actually Iran from continuing targeting Israel.
Well, there are many more targets that can be hit in Iran, providing that Israel goes along with the United States on the type of targets, meaning that the type of targets are like the petrochemical plants, those that are connected to the Iranian war machine, and not energy targets such as power plants, etc., that would bring about the Iran sending to similar targets in the Gulf. So if we want to put up the lights in Tehran or Isfahan, we have to take into consideration that the same will happen in one of the Gulf states. So Iran was able to create a kind of a balance on the type of targets that Israel can choose.
And the U.S. is signaling their unwillingness to get involved between Israel and Iran. And the question is, how much independence does Israel have when it comes to their operational attacks against Iran, given possible refueling capabilities that Israel is lacking, maybe air defense system that it needs from the Americans, also rescue operations if that is required?
Well, obviously, the United States is trying to control Israel and obviously control Iran in the type of blows that it sends, that each side sends. So Israel is constantly under pressure to be subdued by the United States and their strategy and tactics. So I figure that the leeway that Israel has and the leverage that it can impose on Iran is limited to whatever the United States sees fit. And Israel is not at will to do whatever it wants to, and apparently not in Lebanon either. So this is the price when you go to fight with a power like the United States. Mm-hmm. And the United States will probably be satisfied with a nuclear agreement that will come on, and rather than anything else. Yes. So if we want the nuclear deal to be tough and for Trump to be able to impose it on Iran, we better do what he says.
And you mentioned Lebanon, and when it comes to Hezbollah, where these recent developments leave Israel? I mean, is Israel going to target Beirut in the future, and is that necessary even?
Well, we can't really discern between political will and military contingencies. That is, it is obvious that our government has its own political decisions or manage its political position on deciding what the targets are. If we continue to go for the Dakhla, obviously we're going to have more missiles shot at us, and the government needs to decide whether it's worthwhile while the United States is negotiating the nuclear deal, which is the first and foremost reason that this conflict had started in the first place. So I'm afraid we'll have to bite the bullet on that one, and we won't be bombing Beirut soon enough.
All right, Brigade General in Reserve Yisrael Relik Shafir, former commander of Tal Nof Air Force Base and former combat pilot in the Israeli Air Force. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.